How much is cultural conditioning holding you back? How much are the expectations of society, this consensus reality really kind of sucking you into this box and really suppressing almost like your freedom? I know how it can feel, and I want to encourage you, empower you to break free from that. Because you're able to. Because you can. Cultivating this sense of radical authenticity and freedom and true authority within yourself, sovereignty. This is what I want to talk about today. For me, it began when I first started taking psychedelics. It was back in school. I was like 15 or 16 years old, and I had my first LSD experience. And I was listening to Terence McKenna, and it's like I saw through all these structures, and I finally realized, like, this is the reason why I don't feel good within myself. Because I don't know how to fully authentically express myself in this structure, in this system. And the system is so flawed. It's so suppressive almost. Like it felt like a prison. And from that moment on, I made a promise to myself of like, I will find my own way through life. I'll not conform to any structures that are in place and not subduce myself to this cultural conditioning, to the normal path that everybody else is going. And I was about to leave school in that moment. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave school, I'm not gonna finish school, and I'm gonna find my own way. And somehow still like cultural expectations and the advice from my parents came, and it's like, okay, it's just a couple more years, just like finish school. And so I did finish school actually. And that's the only regret I have in life is actually from the moment I woke up to not follow through on that decision. Because I made a promise to myself after school to say like, I am not gonna use this piece of paper ever in my life, no matter where. Right? This is kind of like a fun little story, background story of how that developed for me. But from that point on, where I was free from school, I was like, I'm not going to commit to university, not going to commit to kind of like this normal job and this like normal path, right? But I'm going to find my own way. And if that means like taking responsibility for buying my own food and having a job to support myself for a little bit while I'm building up my vision, so be it. So be it. But it's kind of like, it's not based on a need. It's based on freedom. It's based on a freedom of choice. And then in a way, kind of living that out in a way that allows me to fully, authentically express myself and go my own path. So that's what I want to encourage you today with, is kind of like to break free, to really look at how is cultural conditioning holding you back? Where are you not fully authentically expressing yourself? You feel this sense of disalignment within your system. And saying like, what is that costing you? How is that holding you back? And is that necessary? Because I propose it's not necessary. Because as we've kind of learned in psychedelic experiences, at least what my psychedelic experiences have shown me is kind of this notion that I value my own authentic expression. I value honesty. I value truth. And I will do everything in my power to kind of forge a way for myself in this structure that I'm living in this society that I'm living in, to be able to realize my vision, to be able to fully express myself. And what's the result of that? The result for myself has been a great sense of freedom, right? A great sense of fulfillment, happiness, playfulness, alignment. Being like, wow, I can be myself. I can express myself. I can confidently express my authentic self. And I believe that this is like, it's our human right. We're free to do that. It's kind of, it's an honor to do that. It's almost like a duty. It lies in the dignity of the individual to express yourself authentically. And if you're not doing that, what's the cost? What's the alternative? I found it's suppressing it, like shoving it away, like rationalizing the situation for yourself. What follows is a sense of dissatisfaction with life, a sense of like missed potential, almost like a constant feeling of regret of like, I know there's more for me. I know there's a more aligned version, a more aligned relationship, more aligned work, more aligned way of being in the world. But I'm not doing it. And then it's like this sense of regret is coming in. And I'm like, why am I not doing it? So what's the way out of this? The way out of this is, I guess, first of all, to basically trust yourself. To cultivate this sense of authority within yourself. Neglect all authority from the outside, from family expectation to cultural expectation. It's like neglect all of that, but trust your own inner wisdom. And really like cultivate the sensation that you are the only authority that exists. You have the freedom to choose how to perceive a situation, taking responsibility for your situation, and then how you act, how you decide to act, right? And it's scary to kind of tap into that inner wisdom, because sometimes that inner wisdom says that we want to stand up and say enough, draw a boundary, say bullshit to this. I'm not going to do this. Right? And that's scary. I recommend, it's been my path so far and it has worked out well, to stand up and draw boundaries in a kind and compassionate way. To navigate that with as much ease as possible for every party involved. But not neglect myself, not suppress that authentic desire of what is arising in the moment, of what I truly want. And it's a skill to practice this, kind of to go on the journey of really trusting your own inner wisdom, honoring your own direct experience of life, and saying like, I'm not going to believe this, I'm not going to believe this, even though everybody tells me to do something differently. I'll take it into kind consideration with my open mind and be flexible and consider it. But I'm going to trust and ultimately decide for myself because I'm free to. Right? And psychedelics can empower us, right? Psychedelics can show us that vision of ourselves, that potential version of ourselves, which is more aligned. But many people, when they come back out of the psychedelic experience, they still go to their not misaligned job. And there's almost like an attitude of victimhood, of like, oh, I gotta go to my job at Wendy's now. Oh, I gotta go and do this now. Oh, I gotta go. It's like, I gotta spend time with family. It's like, you don't have to do anything. Like, there's gonna be consequences from your decisions. Obviously, you gotta be aware of those and take responsibility for them. But to break free really requires this sense of courage, being a little bit bold, being courageous, and saying like, I'm gonna go my own path, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, because I value authenticity, I value honesty, and this like true expression of my essence. And if that's something that you don't value, that's fine as well, right? Then stop listening. But it's like, if that is something that you're like, oh yeah, I value that, that's kind of important to me, then it's like, do whatever it takes, right? To follow through on that, to practice that. Because from that comes a sense of empowerment. You gotta be kind of like actively, proactively empowering yourself from within. Build this strong, confident foundation within your own understanding of the world. And then you can move. You can adapt to the expectations of society, cultural conditioning. You kind of break free from that, but you move in it, right? But there's a certain different state of energy in the movement as you kind of feel this empowered freedom of your state, of your way of acting in the world. A couple things that help me to do that is, one is like cultivate a vision, develop a vision, craft a vision for your life of how you would like it to be. What are you passionate about? What are you excited about doing? Right? And let that propel you forward from the reality in which you are into the reality which you would like to embody. And this vision, kind of connect that to your core values, to some like core principles by which you want to live by. And then do everything in your ability to live that, to embody that. If you're curious about 5 more steps to embody your psychedelic insights into your day-to-day life, you can download that free guide that I wrote. Link is in the video description down below. But yeah, realize your sovereignty. Break free from cultural conditioning. Break free from the expectations of society. It's a challenging, it's a tough path. There's a cost associated with that as well. Maybe some relationships break apart. Maybe there's gonna be some tension in your family as you express yourself authentically for the first time in your life. Maybe you're gonna lose a job. But I found that it's worth it. It's like always when some of these like crucial things happen that are very painful, they are like, but that are based on the decision and in the foundation of your true, authentic, honest expression of yourself. The new thing, the new reality, the new version that is emerging is more aligned. It's more fulfilled. It's more like, it's more true. And that's worth it. That's absolutely worth it. So enjoy. You'll write me your challenges on what you're struggling with in regards to this situation. I found many coaching clients of mine struggle with this authentic expression of themselves because of cultural conditioning, because of the structures of society that are in place, and these limiting beliefs of like, oh, I gotta do this, I have to do this, I'm not free to do this, almost like this giving your power away to the structures that are in place. And I'm here to say it's like you don't have to do this. It's like it's not necessary. You're free to choose, to take responsibility, ownership, to empower yourself, to express yourself freely. Because that's what the psychedelics show us. We're free, right? This freedom. So that's about it. If you want some help with this one-on-one and you want to talk to me one-on-one, you can book a clarity call and we can talk about your situation and your personalized psychedelic integration roadmap to lead you to break free from this and create a life of your choosing. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy. Much love.